Hi, I'm Emilio Salehi. I grew up in the States. Originally I'm from Montreal, Quebec. I went to the University of South Carolina. I studied global supply chain and operations management, also marketing and Chinese studies. I've been in China for 3 months. I'm working for a company based out of the UK that designs and manufactures formal menswear. The biggest obstacle is, well, obviously for anyone coming to China, is just the language. I mean, reverting back to not being able to read and write and speaking is also difficult. The language isn't as difficult as a lot of people perceive it to be. It sounds much more different than anything people have heard in the West, so they just think it's very difficult. But it is a very ancient language, therefore it's also very basic. So it actually is pretty easy to learn to speak it. It's not a lot of conjugation or anything like that. So, but it's still a huge obstacle for anyone coming to China. But don't be discouraged. I mean, lots of people do speak English here, and the ones that don't, you won't interact with that much. The initial motivation came from my father working a lot in China, and just the idea that China was expanding so quickly and exponentially that anyone pursuing a business career, having the opportunity to work in China would be kind of invaluable, especially if you would like to at some point return to the West. Just having that experience on your CV, and just not only for something to write on paper, but just to have that experience is really invaluable. I think anyone in business or manufacturing, in their career, they're going to be working with China, whether they want to or not. So, yeah, definitely. I plan on moving back to the States, maybe Canada, to continue my career, maybe after 1 or 2 years here. But it's pretty apparent that I'll be doing business with China for most likely the rest of my life, and I'm not exclusive to that truth. Just do it. I kind of like was on the fence about coming to China for the entire time I was in university. Now that I'm finally here, I realize I should have done it earlier. It's not as scary as you think. It's a very easy place to live. Most people think it's easier to live here than it is back home in the States or in the West. So yeah, just don't be afraid. Just come here. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does work out, then it's going to be great for you in the rest of your career. Well, obviously there's just the overall culture shock, and it's not that shocking. It's more kind of entertaining, just to see people doing things that are different that you would expect. Um, it's still easy to get along here, and there's a lot of other Western people. Something that shocked me or was surprising, I would say that I guess there is a large divide between the upper class and the lower class, and that's something that you see, I guess, in a lot of quickly developing countries. But, for example, you'll see someone on a bicycle, which is fine, and then you'll see someone driving a Ferrari. And it's really just the vast difference, and it really just kind of speaks to the truth of how quickly China is expanding. I'm new to the industry, so I'm kind of learning everything. So I'm a guy who kind of wears many hats in the office. So I work on development, I work on account management, I work on production planning. I I kind of do it all. But I mean, it's great though. I mean, I go to factories. I meet people at the factories. I see what it's like. They're not sweatshops. It's very clean and organized and strictly audited and regulated. Um, and also, when we have people from the West that come here, it's kind of my responsibility to show them a good time, since I'm the Western correspondent here and I know all the cool places apparently.